Billionaire David Einhorn has continued to add this beaten down penny stock to his hedge fund, Greenlight Capital. This is a $2 billion portfolio, only 40 companies out of the thousands he could pick. Why is he choosing this name? Is he optimistic for the future? Let's get right into it. First, if you don't mind, smashing that like button, click and subscribe if you haven't. Also, turning on those post notifications, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, the company is Gain Therapeutics, ticker GANX. Like we mentioned, David Einhorn has a very big reputation on the street. He's a billionaire himself, manages a multi-billion-dollar fund of Greenlight Capital. And of the 40 stocks, why would he pick Gain Therapeutics here, which he's continued to add even in Q3 of last year? So almost 600,000 shares, $2 million valuation. He's barely read on it. He's continuing to add, which I'm very optimistic long term. Also, a name that we're familiar with, Koya, right? He added 172%, $9.5 million position. He's up 22%. So I'm sure he's assuming the same thing with Gain, that he's going to continue to buy, look long term, and see those massive gains compound. One of the best forms of due diligence is insider buys, and that's coming from a director, Jeff Riley, $115,000 out of pocket, 30,000 shares, just under $4. It's a really good sign. There's a lot more buys or inflow compared to selling or outflow in the stock. From an insider perspective, clearly they are optimistic and seeing value at these levels. Now we're looking at a $54 million market cap company, 18 million OS. I believe it's like 20 or 21 now. Really, really tight. Not like they opened that up a lot from the past 3 years. Quarterly cash burn, very light, less than 5 million. I'm sure they'll have to raise money in the future, but the one thing I like about this company is the opportunity for grants or potential non-dilutive funding, especially with someone like David Einhorn sitting on the board of the Michael J. Fox Foundation. We saw a couple years back that Gain Therapeutics actually received some funding from the Silverstein Foundation and the Michael J. Fox Foundation. We know that's again non-dilutive for their research into Parkinson's disease. The last metric I want to talk about is the balance sheet, specifically the long-term debt, which we're not really seeing any, right? This is very minimum, if not no long-term debt on the books. This is fantastic as most biotechs continue to dilute. They're burning a ton of cash. Most of them are not in revenues, so they have to constantly go to the street, open up that cap structure, and the price gets crushed. We're not really seeing that here. Definitely another thing that I like to check off in my books when it comes from an analyst perspective that always likes to critique these biotechs. The one thing that really caught my eye for Gain Therapeutics is the board of directors, over $30 billion worth of acquisitions. There's a ton of experience with taking very small companies, growing them, and then selling them. Okay, this is many, many times that we see this throughout multiple individuals on the board of directors, specifically the chairman, Khalid Islam. I really urge you to pause the video or read a little bit into his background. Very, very impressive stuff. I knew him from Immunomedics. I did a video on this and sort of talked about some of the issues that they had with, short and distort articles. Very short and simple. They got kicked out of a prestigious cancer conference here. They wrote a nonsense article, and then we saw Gilead end up buying them out for $21 billion or $88 a share. Okay, but when we look back again, right, the price was smashed all the way down to $9 and then essentially got bought out for 10 times its valuation. So again, when we look back at the board, he served as director of IMMU and multiple other companies, right? We're talking about Jazz Pharma, a ton of companies that have been sold for either $1 billion all cash, $300 million raised, a lot of really good quality stuff. And again, people that have experience, they're not random no-name people. These are legit, highly intelligent individuals that are going to make this company work with or without us. And that, again, is the biggest part of this entire thing, right? The stock is not going to be dependent on me or someone else talking about it. They're going to get it done regardless. Is now a good time to buy in terms of value? I believe the answer is yes, but ultimately this would be a long-term hold. You really want to believe in the management that they're going to do what they've done in the past, take a small company and grow it to multi-hundred millions or even billion-dollar plus valuation, and for you to see it play out to its maximum potential. I wouldn't recommend flipping this up 50, 60 cents. It's a relatively lower liquidity market. It's only traded 77,000 shares this week. It's a company that you buy, hold, accumulate. The lower it goes, the more value you should see, and really, again, look long term. Now, the reason I'm bringing it to your attention now is because I see a ton of value, see very, very minimal downside risk in comparison to upside potential. You're risking maybe 40, 50 cents at most to make, multi 100% return. I think conservatively. And if we want to be super conservative, and let's just go back to where we were 3 months ago, right? That would be around 85% upside for what? To risk 30, 40 cents? Now, as we zoom all the way out, right now is a different type of perspective, right? Imagine you believe that the company's going to get to 8 and 10 and 20. Okay, let's say it gets back to 10. That's over 250%. We get back to $18, that's 500%. Now, for me, I do think it's realistic. This company could get bought out for 25, $30 a share. If we get up to that 30, even, $40 plus range, that's over 1,000%. So that's sort of the risk that you're taking, right? I'm not saying 100% that's going to be guaranteed, but it's definitely realistic. And it makes sense compared to what the board of directors and the people running this company have done in the past through their actions, not just their words, not just what they tell you they think it's going to be, what they've actually done. Okay, they've walked the walk, talked the talk, and I really, really like that about them. So, very optimistic for Gain Therapeutics. If you hold this stock or if you're investing in any biotechs long term, please let me know in the section below. I'm very, very optimistic and confident that there's a lot of smart money here looking at this company long term. I hope you guys see the same value. If there's any other tickers that I missed that I should be talking about or putting on my watch list, please again feel free to let me know. Besides that, have a fantastic day, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.